Hey guys, so today I wanted to do a video about breastfeeding, specifically about weaning my toddler from the boobie. So he is 28 months right now. He turned 2 back in March, and this is like mid-July that I'm filming this video for you guys. It probably won't be up for a couple more weeks though. So he's about 28 months old right now, and May 6th is when we started kind of the process. We went down to just one nursing session a day around May 6th. He was nursing like first thing in the morning, sometimes around like nap time, and then at bedtime, and we cut down those first two and only stuck with bedtime from May 6th until July 4th. We were just doing one bedtime boobie. So if you guys are interested, I will leave a link down below to my other weaning video where we weaned from 2 to 3 times a day down to just bedtime. So if you guys are interested in learning about how to get down to just bedtime, I'll leave a video link down below so you guys can see what we did to get ourselves down to one nursing session a day. In mid to late June, we started cutting down even more, where we would only do the bedtime boobie every other day or every third day. And this had a lot to do with my husband putting the boys down to bed. If I didn't have my husband to help me put the boys down for bed, I don't know if I would have been able to wean Aaron as easily as we have been able to wean him, because me putting him down to bed sparks that boobie instinct, and he gets so upset if I'm trying to lay down with him and just lay with him and tell him, no, we can't have a boobie, we just need to go to bed now. He gets super duper upset. But if he goes to bed with my husband, if my husband puts the boys down, it's much more smooth. So thank goodness for my husband being willing to help me in this little transition period, trying to get Aaron off of the boobie for bedtime and for all the time. So in like mid-June, when we were kind of reducing the boobies, if he did really want one, if he was starting to get close to bedtime and he just started getting kind of whiny and asking for one, I would give it to him. It wasn't like I was intentionally cutting down like every other day or every third day, but at the same time, I wasn't really doing it intentionally. I don't know if I can explain that correctly, but it's like if he asked for a boobie, I would give it to him. If he had like a really long day and he just seemed really tired and he seemed like a boobie would benefit him, then I would give him one. But on days where he was totally cool and he was just playing up until bedtime and we're like, okay, let's go brush our teeth and get ready for bed, and he never mentioned a boobie, I didn't give him a boobie. I only really gave him one if he was being whiny and was asking about it, and that was only every day or every other day or even every third day sometimes. So he did have his last boobie on the 4th of July. The boys stayed up late so we could sit on the porch and watch fireworks all throughout the neighborhood and stuff. And I laid down with him. It was probably like after 9 o'clock. Usually their bedtime is like 7:30, so he had been up a long time that day. And you could hear all the fireworks going off, and it was super duper loud and crazy. And I just knew that this was going to be our last boobie, and I felt like the 4th of July was kind of, you know, an easy date to remember, kind of, you know, a celebratory date in other aspects as well. So it just seemed like the perfect little day to be like, okay, this is gonna be our last one. And I did give him a boobie on that night, falling asleep, and he did kind of had a hard time with it. Usually, sometimes he would just drink one boobie and kind of pass out, but on the 4th of July, I gave him that one boobie, and when I tried to pull away, he freaked out, and so I had to give him the other boobie as well. And even when I took that one away after a few minutes, he was still kind of like, I don't want to go to bed, I need you here, you know, don't leave me kind of thing. And I did lay with him for a little while longer while he like fell asleep on my chest. So that was our last day on the 4th of July. And on that day he went probably about 3 days since his previous second to last boobie. And that second to last boobie, when I was nursing him, I was kind of thinking maybe this could be the last one, maybe this could be the last one. But I just, when the 4th of July came around, I was like, okay, I need to like actually have a nursing session where I know from start to finish that this is the last one. You know, the second to last one could have probably been our last one, but I just wanted one more just so I would feel some closure with our nursing breastfeeding days. So actually the last, I think it was like the second to last or maybe the third to last time we nursed, I was actually starting to get some nursing aversion. Okay, go to the potty. Which I don't even know if I've ever really had nursing aversion as strongly as I did that time. I just was like, I just don't want him touching me. Like I just like felt like uncomfortable while he was nursing. It wasn't like my nipples were sore or anything. It was just kind of like this feeling where I was like, I just want to be done with this. Like it was just like, I just don't want to do this anymore kind of feeling. And I feel like that was like maybe the third to last time that we nursed. And when that feeling happened, I was like, yeah, it's time to stop. So my original goal was to quit completely by my birthday, which is in August, so we finished about a month earlier than I was kind of expecting, but I feel like it just kind of came naturally. After having weaned down from 2 to 3 nursing sessions a day to just the bedtime one, I feel like it was just naturally going away. It was just between the both of us, and it just seemed to work out really well after weaning down to that 1 feeding a day. And so we got done a month early, so it really only took like 2 months to get from 2 to 3 times a day down to nothing. And he never really asked for it in the daytime, the past probably month or 2, but when it starts getting closer to bedtime, then he would kind of start asking a little bit, and I would just tell him, we're big boys, we're a big boy like brother is, we don't need a boobie anymore, and he was actually pretty understanding about it for the most part. So even while he was nursing the past couple months, he would switch between boobs very often, like only drink for like maybe a minute and then switch to the next boobie and drink for maybe a minute. So I felt like my milk was already like running out or totally gone, like just the way that he was like nursing so crazily. Like he was just nursing like just a second and just a second. It just felt like my milk's probably about done anyway. So why did I decide to wean him at this point? Well, I was ready. After I had that one nursing aversion moment, I felt extra ready. And even though it was just the one time, I still just felt like maybe that's a sign. Maybe it is time to totally wean down to nothing. I just wanted some time before we have our next baby, which we're gonna maybe start trying this fall. And I wanted some time to just not have a nursling and not be pregnant and just have my body to myself for a few months before we start trying for the next baby. So that's another reason why I wanted to do it this summer. And another reason, Eren is just a very clingy and whiny baby, and he would just sit and whine and yell at me and just beg for the boobie all the time. And that's why I really wanted to get down from the 2 to 3 times a day to just the 1 time a day. That was like legit, like he would act like he was still like a tiny baby. Like he would just beg for the boobie all the time, and I was just like done with it. So that wasn't really why I weaned completely, but that's definitely why I started weaning down a couple of months ago, just because he's just so clingy. He's just so obsessed with the boobie. It was just overwhelming. I felt like he was still like a tiny baby. And it just made me super stressed, like especially starting out the morning with him like begging for a boobie, like he wouldn't even, you know, eat breakfast or brush his teeth or put on his clothes or anything until he had his first boobie. That drove me crazy. So that was one big reason why I weaned him down a couple months ago in the first place, why I started weaning him down. It was just a too stressful way to start off every single day. So he was just too attached. He's definitely my little mama's boy, and I love him for it. He's totally opposite of his brother in that way. Calvin, our oldest, who is 4, he's so independent. He doesn't care about anybody. He just does his own thing and plays by himself, and just like he is on his own, man. But Eren wants to be attached to me all the time. So overall, if it wasn't for my awesome husband putting the boys down for me, I would not have been able to wean Eren at this point. I feel like we would still have a couple more months, maybe even several more months of nursing if I had to continue putting him down myself. My husband has always been awesome about putting the boys down. Ever since Eren was born, Calvin has usually been my husband Justin's responsibility. Justin will lay with Cal and put Cal down to bed, but during this whole transition he has been putting both the boys down to bed, so Eren doesn't even see my face in the bedroom at bedtime, so he doesn't even think about the boobie. You know, if he sees me, all he sees is boob. So for my husband to take both of them and put them down, it's been really awesome. And actually just putting them down to bed has been wonderful lately. Usually we would lay with them and, you know, read or like just chill and talk and like hang out in their room for 20 minutes before they actually went to bed. But since we've been doing, you know, my husband being in charge of things, he'll put them in the bed, give them some kisses, you know, tell them, hey, tomorrow we're gonna do this, get them excited for tomorrow, but you gotta go to sleep first, and then just leave them. And they've been awesome. They've been super, super good at going down to bed. So that's just another like extra bonus. Trying to wean Eren. After weaning Eren, putting both of the boys down for bed has been super smooth. So I haven't yet started putting Eren down to bed without a boob. And I don't know when I'm going to be able to do that without him thinking about the boob. So maybe a couple more weeks, maybe another month of my husband being the sole bedtime guy. and maybe I'll start trying, because I did try last night to just lay Eren down and he was super upset about it. So I know he's not ready yet to see my face at bedtime. So my husband's still in charge for a little while longer. I'm not sure exactly how much longer it's going to be, but like I said, they've been going down super easy when it's just my husband, so it's not really a big deal. He doesn't have to go lay with them for like half an hour. He just puts them in there and they go to bed like good little boys. So it's been really great. So yeah, that's just my little story about how we got down to no more nursing, how we've ended our breastfeeding journey. And yeah, filming this video does make me a little bit sad, you know. I mean, he's been my booby boy. He loves his booby and he's such a mama's boy and I love him to death. He's my little baby, you know, and so it is kind of sad to be losing our breastfeeding, you know, ending our breastfeeding journey. But I know me and my husband want more babies, you know, at least one more, if not two more, hopefully. And so I know I'll be able to do it again. So it is kind of sad to be ending this chapter, but it's really exciting too. It's really exciting to know that he's like right on the verge of being a big boy, right? He's gonna be a big boy. He doesn't need a boobie anymore. He's going to be all grown up, right? So yeah, it's just a lot of mixed feelings come with the end of a breastfeeding journey. I remember with Calvin, he weaned at like 15, 16 months or something, and it was kind of sad because I felt like he just did it all of a sudden, and it wasn't like a journey. It was just like all of a sudden Cal's like, I don't need you no more, Mom. And Eren has been a very gradual process, and I think it's worked out really gradually and really naturally, and it's all been for the best. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Maybe you found something a little bit helpful in your breastfeeding journey. Maybe there's some tips in there. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know how long you have nursed your babies and how you feel about the weaning process down in the comments below, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!